Yo, 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 what's up, all you burners, stoners, and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman?
Mr. Weedman?
How the hell are you?
Fantastic.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, everybody out there in the world, hopefully you're doing great. Hopefully you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. Something great happened today. I got to harvest in Croptober. I got home from a week-long trip out in Michigan, and Mrs. Weedman was saying, you better check your plants. I think they're just about ready. I said, okay, get the jewelers, let's take a look. And they were milky. The trichomes were milky and creamy. No amber, no clear, just nice and milky, the way I wanted it to be able to harvest. So I got to harvest in Croptober. Mrs. Weedman, you took some great pictures, and I appreciate it today. Tell them how it smelled.
It smelled very pungent.
It was very pungent.
Kind of gassy. Now that I've learned the whole gassy, what that really means.
It was a very strong smell.
It was strong.
Strong.
You had two different plants.
Yes.
They were both indica or sativa?
One was a sativa hybrid, and the other one was an indica hybrid.
Okay.
And one was called watermelon punch, and the other one was banana sherbet. Mm-hmm. And you did the jeweler's loop for me to take a look at the trichomes to make sure they were the right color to harvest. So why don't you tell them about your experience with the jeweler's loop?
So for anyone that may not have ever actually seen a cannabis plant growing, it's very interesting. It's a beautiful plant. It takes some bonsai type cultivating, and you have to do some pruning and shaping and things to make it work at home, in a small setting. But it's a beautiful plant. So if you can think of any type of plant that grows a flower on it, the bud that we smoke is the flower of the plant. So it's the female plants that grow buds that are cannabis, that are weed that we smoke. And on those buds, they form. And then they continue to kind of bulk up and fill and get thicker, and the little leaves get fat. And then on the leaves, you get these cute little teeny tiny, almost microscopic mushrooms. It's a shape of a mushroom. It's not a mushroom. It's a trichome. And that trichome is where all of your cannabinoids and just so many of the benefits of the cannabis plant are in
terpenes,
your terpenes.
Flavonoids. Everything
is in there. And at first, for most of the growing period, it's clear. So it looks like little dewdrops. It looks like somebody sprinkled fairy dust all over the plants. They're sparkly and twinkly. And then as you get closer to the time that you would harvest, they get kind of milky. And then ultimately they can get amber. If you let them get to the stage of amber, it's said that you will then have more CBN in your plant. So it'll be more of a relaxing sedative plant. If you harvest it when it's milky, you're going to tend to have more of an indica uplifting strain.
If it's more creamy amber, more creamy, you'll have more of the highest THC point.
Highest THC, right.
So if you have more of an amber, you'll have more of CBN. That'll be more sedative. If you have clear, you have the weakest of the THC point. So it all depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah. So Mr. Weedman's plants were very milky. I didn't really see any amber trichomes, but they were definitely milky, and it was ready. It was just time. So Croptober is a reference to outdoor growing and the fall harvest of cannabis. So Mr. Weedman was super excited to be able to harvest his weed in Croptober.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you for the pictures, too. It's really nice. So also, last Saturday, I got to meet a fellow burner, stoner, pothead that listens to the show. His name is Sam. And we met, and because he wanted to trade some flower. So we are going to smoke one of his strains he gave me. And I will say this, Sam, the banana bread, phenomenal.
He gave us a slice of homemade banana bread infused.
Yes, with some hash, which was great. And then he gave us 3 different strains. 2 were mystery strains. 2 were very low THC. One was 2% THC and 12% CBD. One was 6% THC, and I forgot the CBD. I think it was like 12 or 8% again. And then he gave us one we're going to smoke on the show tonight, and that is Lemon Lava. And this strain was really nice. When we got home that night, he had given us a joint of it too, and we smoked it, and it was pretty fantastic. So Sam, we appreciate all the flower. We appreciate the edible. We've been smoking it. I rolled a nice fat joint.
Yeah, it was great.
Today of that 2% THC, 12% CBD, the mystery 1 strain or 2, and it
was nice.
Yeah, we were high, and that was great. It was perfect.
We're getting housework done, and
it was perfect for trimming and shaping and carving and getting stuff in the tent to dry. So we're gonna smoke lemon lava. So I'm gonna pass this over to Mrs. Weedman while I read about the strain. And Sam, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, we appreciate you. So lemon lava. It is a sativa dominant hybrid, 60-40. This was about 22% with THC, and it's slightly created through crossing lemon heads and lava cake strains. Named for its delicious flavor, lemon lava is a perfect build for any sativa lover. The tasty lady has a sweet yet sour fruity lemon flavor and super zesty and sugary exhale. The aroma is very similar, although with surprising hints of grape to it too. The lemon lava high, man, that smells good. The lemon lava high is just as bright and delightful with a cheerful overtone, will leave you feeling insanely happy and vibrant. So a little happiness, a little euphoria, energizing and mind, and leaving you feeling like you can take on the world. Your body will feel lightly relaxed in the state, although not sedated or tired in the slightest. Let's see. So this is calming, euphoria, giggly, happy, hungry, and uplifting of the effects. The relief symptoms are anxiety, chronic pain, depression, fatigue, migraines, and stress. Some of the flavors are citrus, fruity, lemon, sour, and sweet, and some of the aromas are citrus, earthy, grape, lemon, and sour. Mrs. Weedman going for round 2. That was a big one. I saw that. Oh, you left a lot in those steamroller too. What do you think, Mrs. Weedman? Sam, thank you, man. We appreciate this so much. And like I've always said, if anybody wants to throw us some nugs to talk about on the show, that you're a home grower and throw us a nug to smoke, we're happy all about it. And I really like this strain. I really like the low THC high. I mean, I was smoking that all day today. We started that. I stuffed that joint around 2 o'clock, and we were smoking on that until dinner time.
It was a big fatty. You wrapped it in was it a Crop Kings?
It was a King Palm.
King Palm.
So it was nice. That was nice. It was a gram or two.
Yeah, it was smooth. Very nice.
Yeah, that's really nice, Sam. We appreciate you, man. And
I'm high.
Don't worry, I go still. What is terp-sauce? We're gonna start this show, right, Mrs. Weedman?
Yes, let's start the show.
Cannabis is a growing industry with fans across all age groups. So this is what terp-sauce is, because I didn't really know it. So products like terp-sauce, moon rocks, and cannabis-infused sodas, to only name a few, are hitting the shelves almost as fast as they're flying off them. From gourmet edibles to unbelievable potent concentrates, new ways to consume weed are developing almost faster than stoners can keep up. Leaf Buyer is here to give you the latest and greatest explanation of one of the high-tech extraction methods. So this is where the article I'm reading on, like how to smoke terp-sauce. What is terp-sauce? The world of weed may never be an evolving place, but here to make sure no one left in a metaphorical cannabis dust. Without further ado, let's jump right in and learn everything there is to know about terp-sauce. The name for the product may be silly, but it's particularly cannabis concentrate is no joke. Even with the hype growing in terp-sauce, it's completely understandable if you're still wondering exactly what it is and what people want. So put it this way, terp-sauce is a potent cannabis extract which preserves the natural terpenes of the plant more than other methods of extraction. While many concentrates lose their terpenes in the process, distillate, becoming a concentrate, terp-sauce does the opposite by celebrating the terpenes. Man, everyone out there needs to speak some terpenese. For a deeper understanding of terp-sauce, also called sauce, I always get lost in the sauce. You need a basic understanding of terpenes and their functions in cannabis. Terpenes, for the uninitiated, are naturally occurring in the plant compounds responsible for the flavors and aromas in cannabis. We've talked about this so many times, but it's always good to hear it again. Terpenes occur outside of weed too. We all know that in different plants. There's different plants, terpenes, just like we've talked about lemons. You can make a lemon pledge with it. So not only do
linalool, that's always in stuff.
Yeah, always
a
in
lot
stuff.
of cosmetics.
Yep. Not only do terpenes make weed taste and smell good, but they also contribute to your high as well. The influence terpenes have on cannabis high is called the entourage effect. Don't forget that. We've talked about that in prior episodes. When you feel cerebral versus sleepy or giggly or introspective, the entourage effect of the terpenes interacting with the THC is partly reasonable. It's clear why preserving terpenes in extracts is a good idea. Enter terp-sauce, the potent and delicious cannabis concentrates which celebrates terpenes instead of canceling them out. How is terp-sauce made? The process of making terp-sauce is involved with multiple steps, crucial to the final result. The first steps are similar. It's not identical to making any old cannabis oil from live resin. To make terp-sauce, one starts by freezing or refrigerating live cannabis plant to preserve the integrity of the resin. Then the desirable cannabinoids and terpenes are removed. Through an extraction process which solves pressurized separation of the plant, matter, and resin, most commonly done with butane, like butane hash oil or BHO. Only when one is essentially left with BHO does the process of making terp sauce truly begin. Instead of selling the cannabis oil as a terp, as it is, terp sauce is created by setting the oil aside in a cool, dark space to cure. The curing process gives the THCA in the live resin concentrate time to crystallize, as it naturally does, and separates the cannabinoids from the terpenes. In the process of curing and crystallization, the terpenes are published out of the liquidous and deliciously aromatic form, leaving behind cannabis diamonds of crystallized THCA. Terp sauce and cannabis diamonds are often sold together for a pretty penny since the psychoactive ingredients on the crystals and the flavor is in the terp sauce. I just made some gravy, Italian gravy, sauce, whatever you want to call it. There's an age-old fight. Is it gravy or is it called sauce? It's called gravy if you put meat in it. Don't forget. Anyway, sauce tastes good, smells good. So does terpene sauce. How to smoke terp sauce? Not that you know what terp sauce is and how it's made. The only question left on your mind is probably how the hell can you smoke this shit? Well, lucky for all the cannabis oils enthusiasts out there, the process of learning how to smoke terp sauce is rather easy. All you need to do is a dab rig or a Zenco or a Puffco or anything out there that has some kind of apparatus that you could smoke out of. Some sauce and will get you super baked. If it sounds easy, it's probably because it is. Since terp sauce is, in essence, just another cannabis concentrate, it makes sense to dab it like you would any other oil. The difference is in how get this cannabis concentrate into your body. Rather, sauces are unique for its flavor and aromatic delivery and its high impact on your weed high. Do be careful when trying your hands on terp sauce, even if you're dabbing pro. With the terpene content almost doubled in the concentrate, the amplified entourage effect from terp sauce might just sweep you off your very feet. While a weed high and strong may sound fun, it's always better to play it safe and smart. Like we always say, start low and go slow. Buying terp sauce. When you go to a dispensary, just ask your budtenders if they carry it. Check their menus. Ask about them. Ask them to see what terpenes are in there, and ask them to suggest a great product for you. You're all right there, Mrs. Weedman. you're like almost fell back over the chair.
I'm freaking on another planet right now. I'm okay.
Did you take an edible before the show too, or you just from the smoke?
No, just that smoke. Just wow.
Made you a little euphoric, huh?
When you start rubbing your eyes and oh my God, it just feels so good. That just happened. I had a moment. I normally don't rub my eyes because I try to protect the skin and the tissue so I don't get wrinkles. But my gosh, every once in a while. Oh. Okay.
So real quick, just like when you go to a dispensary or before you go to a dispensary, look up the products. Look up if you find one at a dispensary, go to the and you're online. Go to that cultivator and find out what it's in the terp sauce too, just in case if the dispensary doesn't have it listed. Be smart. Like I said, start low and go slow and get yourself some of that sauce and go get lost in it. Mrs. Weedman.
I am lost.
You are lost
in the sauce
right now.
It's amazing.
So this is the question then.
What?
How much weed is enough for you, Mrs. Weedman? And does dosing still confuse you? Just like it does most consumers.
I don't know. Well, I'm all right.
You all right?
I'm great.
You good?
I'm great.
Can you make it?
I'm good. I just can't see so good because I was rubbing my eyes. Oh my gosh. So I've got an article. How much weed is enough? I could tell you right now, I've had enough. Cannabis dosing still confuses most consumers. Now, I will say that probably in about a half hour I would smoke some more.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say I don't feel over high. but I feel high. Like lately, I've been thinking I need a tolerance break because I feel like I don't feel high really much at all. And thank you, Sam. That's great. I'm high. All right. Turns out, even daily weed users have no idea what an effective dose looks like. When you hit up a dispensary for the first time, you'll likely be overwhelmed, like overloaded to the point where making a purchase seems nearly impossible. You might resort to buying cannabis flower or a pre-rolled joint, but then the bud tender will ask your cannabis strain preference. Are you more of a Blue Dream or a Granddaddy Perp kind of girl? What percentage of THC do you like? Oh, look, the runaway train is staggering options has just rolled off the tracks. You purchase the first suggestion the bud tender makes, and you consume responsibly while having no clue how high this flower will make you. The cannabis plant is incredibly complex. More than 100 cannabinoids, which are the chemical properties in weed that bind to your body's receptors. They exist in the plant, and we generally only talk about two of them, CBD and THC. Dispensaries list CBD and THC percentages for products so you can better understand effective doses and how you should expect to feel after consuming. It can also be helpful to address a specific medical ailment. Some conditions are better served through CBD dominant flower and vice versa. Don't feel bad, though, if you're still confused. As it turns out, even the most frequent cannabis users and advocates have no idea what any of this means. There was a study that was published in Drugs, Education, Prevention, and Policy, and it polled 500 attendees at the cannabis event Hash Bash in Michigan, where local Ann Arbor residents and University of Michigan students gathered to smoke weed in protest. Recreational cannabis is legal now in Michigan, but the event spans close to 50 years and has hardcore counterculture roots from the 70s. When researchers asked the attendees questions about cannabinoid content and effective dosing, they found wildly inaccurate responses, which is crazy, right? You think that, like, everybody knows what they're doing. Like, if someone's been smoking for 10, 15, 20 years, they know what's a good dose, what a level of THC would be in a joint or a bowl, right? Well, even the people who are the most enthusiastic have very poor knowledge of cannabinoid content. They greatly overestimated how much THC and how much CBD was in various strains and what the effective dosages were. Lead author Daniel Kruger said in a statement, "The majority of participants said they used weed daily, with 85% saying they do so for health or medical purposes. These attendees mostly relied on their own experiences to gain knowledge about cannabis, with only 23% learning from a medical dispensary or caregiver, and it shows." When asked about the proper amount of CBD and THC, and what would be considered an effective dose, the majority said they didn't even know. Those that did respond gave average estimates of 91 milligrams THC and 177 milligrams for CBD, which is way off. Way, way, way off, right? I mean, if you're maybe a daily smoker and you don't take tolerance breaks, but the average person taking 91 milligrams of THC would be off their rocker. That'd be a lot.
Unless you live in Oklahoma. That's an average. That's like an hourly thing in Oklahoma.
One person in this crowd of experienced consumers even said that there was 1 million milligrams of THC as the effective dose.
What?
Yeah, that's a kilogram of THC, enough to fill an entire football stadium and get everyone high. So clearly, people don't know
what they don't know.
So researchers also asked what they considered were percentages for high THC and low THC strains, then did the same for CBD. I thought this was interesting because they mostly thought that the higher the number, the lower the THC. Weird. So the majority, 58%, stated that the low THC strain was anything with 20% THC or higher. See what I'm saying? Low quantified as anything that was 20% THC or more. That doesn't make sense, right? For those unaware, that's relatively high THC. And they're saying an even higher. A significant minority, 22%, thought anything 40% THC or higher was a low THC strain. That, by the way, is higher than anything available on the market.
100%.
Yeah. This survey demonstrates the necessity for widespread cannabis education, whether people are frequent users or just beginners. We really have to educate people. This very real consequence is possible because these are compounds that have different effects, Kruger said. Most Americans now live in a state where cannabis is legal, at least for medical purposes, but the information channels aren't there regarding safe and effective cannabis use.
Yeah,
That's crazy because, I mean, really, people just talked about THC, right? I mean, when it was a traditional market, you wouldn't get percentages because they weren't metering or monitoring or dosing.
Nobody knew.
No, they just give you, dude, it's a bud. I don't know, smoke it. It's THC.
Yeah.
It's a strong one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
But they didn't talk
Have
in
you
terms
smoked
of...
it? Yeah, I smoked it.
Yeah, I smoked it.
How high did it get you? That's pretty high.
I was wrecked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty high. Like how high? Like high, like perfectly.
So it was like
all
that
right.
kind of a gauge, just based on personal experience and high, low, medium.
Yeah.
Not percentages.
What's the high?
So it's
what's the
interesting that they
high-o-meter you're
think,
at?
yeah, so they think the higher the number, the lower the dose is. Like the low dose has higher. I don't know. Weird.
Because people don't understand.
They just don't understand it. Yeah.
I mean,
So the people that had the most knowledge are people that have gone to dispensaries because
Yes.
bud tenders educate you.
yes.
So
they
it's
do.
interesting.
Thank
Yeah.
you, bud tenders.
Yeah. Thank you.
The age-old question. Now, since indoor's been going for a long time now, indoor versus outdoor, which type of weed gives you a better high? It's. You have indoor growers, you have outdoor growers, right?
Right.
Outdoor, you get directly from the sun. Indoor, you're using fake light to make it look like the sun. I mean, photosynthesis is photosynthesis. Everything needs sunlight to live. Every plant needs sun. So whether it's fake sun or it's the real thing, also there's a lot to it. Outdoor weed is wonderful. You have all the elements of nature outdoors. Making bud do the way it's been grown for millions of years, right? Nowadays, with outdoor grow, you have not only just the sun, but you have growers that have perfected their trade at growing cannabis outdoors. They know what the elements bring. You're going to have good crops some years. You're going to have bad crops. Might have rain that can wipe out your whole entire crop. You might have a bug infestation. So there's a lot of elements with outdoor. But when you get really good outdoor grow, it's fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'm not going to say it's better than indoor because I've smoked a fucking shit ton of good indoor that's got me high. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yours.
Hey, give me a fist bump on that. Thanks. So, I to me, in my opinion, I like them both. And if you haven't had a chance to try outdoor because you're in a state that is only indoor grow, or you're a home grower and you're growing outdoor and indoor, so you get to experience both, but you still think your indoor is better because you can control the elements. Or if you're in California, where some of the greatest outdoor grow in Washington and Oregon and Colorado, and you have some of the states with some of the pristine soil and pristine atmosphere to grow outdoor, and the buds you get fucking 12 to 14 foot fucking trees, and there's so much bud. I haven't talked to him in a minute on Instagram because I lost it. Thanks, Zuckerberg. That he grew a plant in North Carolina, and this fucking thing he was still trimming like up to this day. That's how much weed he had coming out of his outdoor grow. He had 1 or 2 plants. This fucking plants were
a tree.
Oh my gosh. A good friend of mine, Uncle Milty.
But you have to when you cut all the buds off of that, then it's gone. You have to tear that tree
plant's
up, right?
done. Yeah. There's no regrowing it.
Yeah.
I think people have tried, but I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to read about it, but I think people have tried to re-veg their outdoor grow or an indoor grow, and they have gotten some. So it just depends. But I mean, you're getting ginormous fucking trees. Some of these. I mean, and a good friend of mine, Uncle Milty, did 5 plants outdoor and he did 200-gallon pots. Remember I showed you some pictures?
That's like a trough, like a horse trough.
He had, I think he said he got something like I don't even know, like 5 to 8, and I think he stopped cutting after. I think he was just done. He couldn't do no more.
Like, what am I gonna do?
He got,
what am I gonna do with all this?
Realistically, he got like 5 pounds that he did himself,
my
and the
gosh.
rest he said, take these fucking plants out of here and do what you want with them to people. 5 pounds of his own, and that was just toppers. You're growing 5 plants outdoor. He said they were like 8 to 12 feet high.
That's nuts.
Buds were like longer than his arm.
Whoa.
Yeah, like monsters. So, and we smoked some of that last year.
So when would you have to get that in the ground here? April? No,
May.
It wouldn't be warm enough yet.
May.
We still get frost in May.
May. You would plant those outdoors in May. You would start your
90 days
seedlings.
cycle.
Well, let's see.
I would say June, July, August would be great.
Yeah, you could plant in June too, but you're planting your seedlings, so your seedling stage is at least 2 to 3 weeks. So before you even maybe plant those outdoors, you're starting your seedling phase in a greenhouse somewhere, and then putting them outside.
July, August, September,
October. So you need like 4 solid good months for outdoor to get those monster giant plants. But 90 to 120 days. That's what you need.
June. In the ground, June 1st. Let's try it.
Okay.
Next year.
So, age-old question. If you like indoor, great. If you like outdoor, great. If you haven't tried outdoor and you've only tried indoor, you need to get some outdoor. And if you're buying in a traditional market, don't forget a lot of that was outdoor anyway. You just didn't know where it was coming from. So
someone's backyard, their dog peed on it every morning. Special strain.
So, just go to the West Coast.
Super ammonia.
I've been to Kentucky multiple times, but the first time I got to try really good outdoor weed was Kentucky. It was grown in the mountains of Kentucky, and I was in Cincinnati opening up a restaurant, and someone gave me some Kentucky grass, and I had never smoked no shit like that before. I was high as fuck.
Yeah.
So, and this was, this had to be like 97.
Was it Kentucky bluegrass? Pretty funny. Funny.
So anyway, what's some trends in marketing that will light up the cannabis industry in 2023, Mrs. Weedman?
Yep. An increasing rate of legalization across the globe is ushering in a boom for the cannabis category. The global legal cannabis market was valued at $17.8 billion last year and is projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of more than 25% between now and 2030. Dang. As players in the category enjoy greater market opportunities, they're investing more money in advertising and marketing in efforts to combat stigmas, expand brand awareness, and attract sales. At Advertising Week New York, cannabis industry leaders gathered to discuss how they're approaching the challenges and opportunities of marketing today. Here are 5 trends they highlighted. Number 1, weed marketing meets entertainment. Outside of the regulatory and compliance challenges of marketing cannabis and hemp products, brands in the space often have to contend with strict platform rules. Mr. Weedman. Spaces such as Facebook and Instagram, which could, in theory, help brands reach target audiences effectively, are not friendly to the industry. We know. Due to these and other...
Hashtag free Weedman 420 Chronicles.
Due to these and other challenges, many cannabis brands are finding value in teaming up with celebrities and leaning into the entertainment and music spaces instead. For a brand, gaining celebrity buy-in can be a game changer because it lends legitimacy and inspires trust from consumers. When a celebrity gets involved in a project, they are a personal brand, and they want to protect that brand, said Diana Eberlin, Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Source Technology, a CBD and hemp supplier to food and beverage companies. Celebrities are going to protect their brand, and they're going to dig into the details of a product and brand. That's why a lot of consumers end up trusting brands that celebrities get involved with.
Hey, hold on right now, because the top 25 brands right now in the market, 4 of them are the first 4 are all celebrity owned.
Owned or promoted?
Owned.
Oh, wow. Tasty. Number 2 is Tasty Product Innovations upend stigmas. Hemp and cannabis brands are reaching more consumers by investing in product innovation and moving beyond the flower. About a decade ago, approximately 80% of all products were attributed to flower. Now, that number is 47%. Increasingly, consumers are attracted to edibles, infused products, and other manufactured cannabis goods. Lynch believes, I don't know who Lynch is, this shift, who is Lynch? I didn't mention Lynch before. Well, Lynch believes this shift is helping to destigmatize the industry and enabling brands in the space to build more consumer trust. Bringing products that are more familiar and a little less scary to the industry has helped, she said. Seltzers and other beverages in particular are having a moment. It's currently the smallest segment within consumption, but it has had the fastest growth rate over the last couple of years, said Source Technologies Eberlin. We're going to continue to see consumers seek out cannabis-infused beverages because they're socially acceptable. They can replace your glass of wine at night or your beer, and they eliminate hangovers.
And calories.
Yeah. 3, out-of-home ads offer opportunities and challenges. Although out-of-home advertising is a more traditional channel, cannabis brands are still dedicating ad spend to billboards and signage. Oh, gosh. So our big Chicago airport is called O'Hare Airport. It's a major hub, and there's billboards of which Chicago Bear player?
It was baseball player.
Oh, baseball?
Yeah. Remember I was making fun of him for a while? I forgot his name.
Oh, the hair club guy, that was the Bears player, Urlacher or somebody. But, okay, so there's a Chicago athlete that's on all the billboards for one of the dispensaries that's like the closest dispensary to O'Hare Airport. So as you approach the airport, there's one that's like, are you single? Like, take a left for a bud or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so billboards surely are working in Chicago. For this category, explained Wheelhouse Labs Schmidt, out-of-house ad space is
Ryan Sandberg, the Chicago Cub.
Sandberg, yeah.
He was also Hair Club, too.
Good retirement investments, right? Out of house is one of the few things that brands know they can do. It's antiquated, but it's an important part of this category because it's one of the few channels that brands can invest in and not have to worry about people taking down their ads or questioning it. Lynch joked that simple, straightforward billboards that read "Cannabis this way" are often most effective. 4, CBD will be the Trojan horse for wellness messaging. As consumers' interest in health and wellness grows, cannabis brands are seeing lucrative opportunities to position themselves within the wellness space. Curaleaf is working with researchers at major universities to conduct studies on the efficacy of cannabis for various medical treatments. Its marketing, too, often speaks to position the brand's products as tools for improving health and well-being. Although the brand cannot make any unevidenced medical claims, it has used fans' first-hand accounts of their experiences with cannabis and its messaging to convey the product's relaxation and wellness benefits. CBD will help advance consumer trust and perception of the cannabis category at large, experts believe. The fact that consumers are willing to entertain hemp products and minor cannabinoids that are non-psychoactive is very helpful because it introduces people to the plant and gets them more comfortable. And if they're willing to consider CBD, they might be interested to try a low-dose THC product eventually. 5, the cannabis industry has plenty to learn from the alcohol industry and other vice product sectors. Alcohol largely paved the way for the cannabis marketing of tomorrow. A lot of people probably weren't aware of that until the late 90s. You couldn't even run advertising for hard alcohol or on national television, he said. We've all grown accustomed to seeing beer and spirits on TV, but for a long time that wasn't something that happened. Alcohol brands, eager to signal to both consumers and advertising partners that their products were safe in moderation, built campaigns focused on responsible drinking. Cannabis brands, Schmidt said, should take a page from alcohol's playbook, so there's not this idea of reefer madness and that we're trying to perpetuate a national level of cannabis addiction or something like that.
Listen, cannabis at one time was a medicine in the 1800s, and they were selling it as oils, and it was helping people.
Right. It wasn't
Alcohol was
until
never
politics got involved.
It was never said to. Alcohol was never said to help people. People drank alcohol to get fucked up, and they knew what they were doing. Mm-hmm. So the one thing the cannabis industry needs to take it who they needed to pay off to get their shit together in the government, just like the alcohol industry did. Because the alcohol industry kills more people than fucking cannabis. You know how many people die from cannabis?
None.
So how many people die a year from alcoholism?
Oh, jeez.
100,000?
I don't know what the number is, but I'm sure there's a lot.
Biden's cannabis pardons did not free a single federal prisoner or deliver expungements as he promised. We talked about this. I just had to read this caption from it because it's just so true. It's just dangling the carrot, dangling the cheese, whatever. It's just, I don't know. It's so frustrating. All the articles I've been reading about the president trying to figure out this cannabis thing. It's just brutal, so brutal. But here's what you need to do. 6 states out there are voting for recreational cannabis. You all need to go vote. Whether you vote for nothing else, I don't give a fuck. Just go vote for fucking your state to become recreational. Because it's not until all 50 states become recreational that we're going to see change. Okay? And I'm just telling you, go vote. Arkansas looks like it's not going to pass. That governor in fucking Oklahoma is fucking it up. The governor in South Dakota said she would pass it the second time if you all go out and vote on it. So there's 3 states right there that could lose, okay? There's some states with some laws that'll get on next year if you vote now for medical. Don't forget there's some states trying to do that too. So just go out there and vote for cannabis. Try to get it recreational in your state. Missouri's close. We'll see. I don't know. Just go out and vote. That's the only thing I'm going to be voting for is cannabis this year. 28 grams of game. This was a good article.
This is pretty good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is about getting into the game of the legal cannabis market. Sakara Barnes is not your typical cultivator. The New York native is quick to admit that her success in the cannabis field is not due to her green thumb, but rather to her gift for moving large quantities of weed. Barnes currently runs 420 Distribution and Mother Exotic Flower, or MEF, in California. The two businesses combine to form a powerful operation that specializes in premium flower that is white labeled and delivered with partners like Australian brand Stone Apes and delivery service Sea Canna. MEF, or MEF, also anticipates working with Cookies, Seed Junkie Genetics, and Backpack Boys in the near future. Now that Barnes is reaping the rewards of legalization, it's easy to assume that it all came easy. But despite her recent success, Barnes recalls her Purple Haze days in the 2000s New York City with fondness and gratitude. Before Zaza was in wide supply, she risked making illicit sales to provide the plant to her others and herself, both in New York and California. To learn how she grew her empire from ground up, Leafly caught up with Barnes to discuss her journey, to experience her brand, and to gather game for aspiring entrepreneurs. So, from her is a list of 28 things that would help you. I'm not going to pain you with 28 things. I'll go through some, and then we'll put the link to this article on the post.
Yeah, it'll be on 8 Decades this time because my shit's out.
Yeah. Yeah, or wherever you listen, it'll be in the description of the episode. So 1, deliver a lasting experience. In early October, Sakara invited Leafly to a relaxing SoCal beach rendezvous. The invite-only event was the kind of Sunday kickback every connoisseur dreams of. Barnes understands that cannabis products can only offer a temporary experience, so the moment customers experience right before, during, and after they spark up carry a lot of weight in future shopping decisions. 2, data is a seed for future sales. Barnes and MEF didn't just use the beach sesh to connect with fans and influencers. The event also collected consumer feedback on the brand's latest line of strains. With our new genetics, I wanted people to give me feedback, she said. I wanted to do it structured, like his gave me this feeling, like a Leafly review, you know? Ultimately, she kept things informal while collecting data points here and there. 3. Yes, we cannabis. Barnes' advocacy for the plant started back when Barack Obama took office. She modestly served fellow students in her dorm, but was more interested in the possibilities of legalization. 4. Remember your roots. Barnes' passion for the plant dates back to her earliest days of consumption. Classic cultivars like Purple Haze still hold a special place in her heart. 5. Find your lane and network. In 2017, Barnes met someone who told her, "You could work for me." That conversation led to her first dispensary job. She used her position as a networking tool, starting conversations and opening doors that would have otherwise been closed. 6. Learn on the job. Barnes recalls that at that time, people in the store were really going crazy for green crack. The experience was her first stepping stone into the legal game. 7. A license is key. Get licensed. It's the first step for any entrepreneur hoping to go from illicit to legitimate, Barnes advises. Barnes has 3 major grow and distributor licenses that position her to compete with the cannabis big leagues. 8. Great partners are hard to find. Shortly after moving to California, Barnes found the plug of all plugs, who became a de facto cannabis growing mentor. Her new connection started blessing her with pounds of green, which Sakara then sold to local dispensaries. 9. Dust yourself off and try again. After learning that she didn't love getting her hands dirty as a cultivator, Barnes bounced back to what became more natural for her, moving units. Instead of trying to become a master grower like her partner, she filled a more pressing need, which was getting the product to stores in what was still uncharted territory. 10. Invest in innovation. Simply spending and saving will never lead to financial prosperity. Investing is the only way to grow. Sakara applied this principle early, wasting no time in taking the next steps in her professional development. And she goes on to say to get educated, show up, be the person that goes to town hall meetings. You might be the only one there, and you might get a bill passed or a law changed or a rule put into place. 13, seek mentorship. 14, claim your place. 15, pick your battles. 16, white labeling is a good business. 17, a great team will take you places, and on and on. So it's interesting. It's principles that you could probably apply in a lot of workplace, but in the cannabis industry for sure. Yeah. So pretty cool.
Good stuff. Good article. Germany in international news, big time, gonna be the next country to legalize cannabis. Here you go. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Once Germany legalizes cannabis, you're going to see all of Europe just follow behind it. Malta was the first. Luxembourg.
The whole country of Germany?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So Malta was first. Luxembourg was close, but Germany has a feeling that's going to be implemented before Luxembourg does there. But once that happens, all of Europe is just going to go because they got it approved through the EU European Union. They're getting it approved through that too. So once that happens, it's all over. So good for you, Germany. The one thing I like about it is you can be able to grow 3 plants and home grow, and possession of 1 ounce for personal use will be allowed by licensed shops and pharmacies can sell it. And looks like plant could become law in 2024. So, but the green light came from the European Commission. That's big.
They should allow like 3 ounces because if you grow some big ass plant outside and get then what do you do?
That's carrying outside your house. So don't just whatever.
Okay.
Keep it in your home. Uber Eats going to be able to deliver pot in Toronto. We like Toronto, but good for you, Uber Eats. But that's just crazy that I mean, it's eventually going to happen.
Well, in California, you can have your weed delivered.
Yeah, but it's going to be all over soon. It's going to be great. Yeah. People aren't going to leave their house when it's cold out in Chicago. Right. Shit.
Get some schnicky snacks.
Yeah.
A bud.
2 tree buds.
Some ice cream.
You like going on vacations.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and we try to find good dispensaries when we go on vacation. I usually travel with my grow if I'm driving, but flying, you're bringing your pen, maybe some edibles sometimes on the plane. When you leave LA, you can do that, just so you know. In LAX, you can do that. But we like vacation. So what are some cool-ass cannabis cities?
A new study found the 10 best cities for a cannabis vacation. We talked about quite a bit of cannabis travel recently. It is quite a trend right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's cool. Well, cannabis has come a long way in the U.S. since it was first legally medically allowed in California in 1996. Now, 18 states have legalized medical and recreational cannabis. 21 have legalized medical cannabis. And Arkansas, Maryland, Missouri, North Dakota, and South Dakota have all put recreational cannabis on the ballot for the midterm election season. And with over a third of the country readily available with dispensaries, restaurants, tours, and even churches, a cannabis-themed vacation is far from far-fetched. Still, you might be wondering where to go. A study conducted by Upgraded Points, a company that helps consumers with information on points and miles, conducted a survey to find the best cities for a cannabis vacation. The study found that the most cost-effective places for a cannabis vacation are Oakland, California, and Spokane, Washington. Researchers said the data showed a correlation that the longer a state has had legalized recreational cannabis, that had the lowest prices. A 4-day cannabis vacation in Oakland would run you about $1,068, followed by Spokane with about $1,135. However, go somewhere where the cost of living is high and you'll pay the price. A 4-day stay in Anchorage, Alaska will run you $1,551, and Los Angeles trailing behind at $1,540. Portland, Maine turned out to be the second cheapest city due to the vast number of 420-friendly stays. The study found Portland has 102 cannabis-friendly Airbnb listings per 100,000 people. Denver reigns supreme due to its number of 420-friendly accommodations, its 64 licensed dispensaries per 100,000 people, and the average price of a quarter ounce of weed averaging at about $60. So, drumroll please, the 10 best cities for a cannabis vacation are Denver, Colorado, Portland, Maine, Oakland, California, Boulder, Colorado, Portland, Oregon, Scottsdale, Arizona, Henderson, Nevada, Colorado Springs, Colorado, San Jose, California, and number 1, Las Vegas, Nevada. To find the best cities for a cannabis vacation, Upgraded Points looked at 50 of the largest cities and states where recreational weed usage is legal. The cities were then ranked on a scale from 1 to 5 in 10 categories. Average cost of round-trip airfare, average nightly price at a weed-friendly accommodation, number of weed-friendly Airbnbs, the average cost of rideshare, number of dispensaries, the average cost for a quarter ounce of weed, the number of guided cannabis tours, the average price of weed-friendly experiences on Eventbrite, and the number of available fast food restaurants. These scores, this is pretty detailed, were then rated according to their impact on cannabis tourism. Each city then received a final score on a scale of 1 to 50. So they did some research. And
I did some research too.
You did?
Yes. Were you done?
Yeah, that's
So
it.
I did some research because the article said about flying or driving. And so I read some of the stuff they said about flying with cannabis. Still illegal. We know it federally. You're going in the air. But here's something interesting, okay? The TSA in general isn't searching out drugs. We've talked about this before. The agency is priming a goal to find threats like weapons and explosives. If they do stumble across some drugs, however, they will report you to law enforcement. The hitch here is that it is up to local law enforcement to crack down on laws, including federal ones, meaning it has discretion on how to respond and when the TSA reports drug possession. TSA won't and can't arrest anyone for possession. TSA officers won't and can't arrest anyone for possession or anything else for that matter. Did not know that. There's enough confusion about the fact that the agency dedicated to a portion of its website to lay out that the TSA officers at airport checkpoints do not have the authority to arrest any passenger regardless of the situation. Furthermore, TSA officers don't carry handcuffs or weapons and aren't allowed to use force. Officers are instructed instead to call for law enforcement when, among other obvious things, illegal narcotics or any other illegal items are discovered. In short, the TSA is tasked with the following federal law, yet it can't technically do anything about it other than call the authorities like some type of barbecue Becky. Local law enforcement can choose to enforce state law or federal law when it encounters cannabis, which is where the divide between major airports come in. Like I said, LAX allows you to travel with it. So that I had to read a little bit more because I didn't want to fuck up and get anyone in trouble. Like I got myself in trouble smoking in the bathroom. So, be safe out there when you're traveling, everybody. But remember, TSA can't arrest you. That's pretty good. Halloween's here.
It is.
By the time you all listen to this episode, Halloween would be over. So we're recording on Saturday because Mr. Weedman was out of town all week. And so here's some spooky strains to smoke at Halloween or after Halloween. So Ghost OG, if you can find it. Skywalker OG, Harlequin, Alien OG, Jack the Ripper, Zombie OG, Pennywise. So if you can find any of those strains before, after, or during Halloween, smoke up and get spooky. Mrs. Weedman, you got anything else to say?
On that, no, I think that we should go out with that.
Go out with
spooky.
Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you all. Have a great one out there, man. We love you all out there. As Paulie always says, smoke smart. Puff, puffing away.
Puff, puff, pals.